With college basketball starting in the next few months, we've been going through all of our different off-season rankings, from player positions to the top freshmen and the top transfers in the sport, and it has all led us to this video where we are ranking the top 50 players in all of college basketball. So I will be ranking from number 50 all the way down to number 1 on how I think each of these players will perform next season. But before we begin, if you enjoy the content, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel, as it helps us grow and is greatly appreciated. And now, let's jump into it. And as always, I have some honorable mentions that you could argue should be in the top 50 near the back end, but just missed the cut for me, and they are Bruce Thornton from Ohio State, Jason Edwards from Providence, Tyler Bilodeau from UCLA, Braden Huff from Gonzaga, Henry Vasar from North Carolina, Miles Byrd from San Diego State, and Mikael Brown Jr. from Louisville. But coming in at number 50 is Tarris Reed Jr., the 6'10", 260-pound senior big man from UConn. Reed was a per-minute monster last season, putting up 9.5 points, 7.5 boards in just 20 minutes a game while shooting an absurd 67% from the field. He led the Big East in rebounding rate and ranked second in block percentage, proving he can control the paint on both ends of the floor. And yes, at times there were silly fouls and turnovers, which were big issues for him, but with Samson Johnson gone, Reed is stepping into a starting role for the Huskies, and with more minutes and spacing around him, he's got real double-double potential every night, and if he continues to improve defensively in space, he could be a game changer for Danny Hurley's squad next season. Coming in at number 49 is Silas Demary Jr., who brings exactly what UConn was missing last season, which is a reliable floor general who can both run the show and score at a high level. The Georgia transfer closed the year last year on a tear, averaging over 19 points in his final 10 games while shooting 37% from 3. He's a tough, physical defender who can guard multiple spots, and offensively he's dangerous at all 3 levels, especially in late clock situations. And at UConn, Demary should steady the offense and give Danny Hurley a go-to option when possessions break down, and with his size, athleticism, and relentless motor, he has the chance to emerge as one of the most impactful transfer guards in the country next season. Coming in at number 48 is Chad Baker-Mazara, and he is one of the nastiest perimeter defenders in all of college basketball. At Auburn, his length, quickness, and competitiveness made him versatile enough to guard point guards or wings, and he piled up chase down blocks and rear view contests that flipped momentum for Auburn. Offensively, he also chipped in 12.5 points, 3 assists, and knocked down shots at a respectable clip from deep, showing real playmaking instincts when given the ball as well. And now he's at USC, and Eric Musselman is handing him a much larger role, and his size and versatility make him a perfect fit for the switch-heavy defense that they play. And if Baker-Mazara locks in consistently, he has the tools to become the Trojans' two-way engine and a key reason they stay in the Big Ten race. Coming in at number 47 is John Blackwell, the bulldozing guard for Wisconsin, who's coming off of a breakout season. Blackwell excelled as a lead guard last year, but with Nick Boyd taking over the point, he can return to his natural shooting guard role, focusing on slashing, shooting, and defense. He shot 45.5% from 3 as a freshman and has continued to improve inside the arc, showing the kind of efficiency that makes him a scoring threat at all levels. And with his strength and aggressiveness, expect him to camp out at the charity stripe while driving relentlessly to the rim. And if he takes the next step as a facilitator and a defender, Blackwell could emerge as one of the top guards in the Big Ten and a first-team candidate next season. Coming in at number 46 is Ian Jackson, the dynamic wing who is returning home to St. John's after a solid freshman season at North Carolina. Jackson averaged 12 points per game and knocked down nearly 40% of his threes, showing he can score both off the dribble and in catch-and-shoot situations. And at UNC, he shared the backcourt with a lot of ball-dominant guards, but now he'll get a chance to run the offense under Rick Pitino, and with his athleticism, shooting, and scoring instincts, Jackson has the potential to become the Red Storm's go-to option and a national star if he masters the point guard role, and expect him to make an immediate impact and give St. John's one of the most exciting backcourts in the country. And coming in at number 45 is Thomas Haugh, and the versatile forward for Florida is set to step into a starting role after a breakout sophomore season with the Gators. Haugh averaged almost 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists last year, while hitting 34% of his threes and nearly 80% from the free throw line, showing he can score inside and stretch the floor. His combination of handle, cutting ability, and defensive versatility makes him a matchup nightmare, especially as he slides more to the 3 this season. And I expect Haugh to drive downhill in transition often, while also knocking down open shots and serving as a key playmaker for the Gators. And if he continues to develop, he could emerge as one of Florida's most impactful players and attract even more NBA draft attention. Coming in at number 44 is Xaivian Lee, Florida's dynamic new guard ready to step into a lead role. After developing into a 2-time All-Ivy League performer at Princeton, Lee averaged 17 points and 5.5 assists last season, while shooting nearly 37% from 3 and maintaining a 2.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. He thrives off the dribble and can create shots for himself and his teammates, which will make him a perfect fit alongside Boogie Fland in Florida's new backcourt. And while replacing Walter Clayton Jr.'s production is no small task, Lee's scoring, vision, and playmaking make him a potential game changer for the Gators, and I expect him to energize the offense and immediately impact Florida's chances at repeating next season. Coming in at number 43 is Tomislav Ivisic, Illinois' 7'1" center who's absolutely redefining what a big man can do on the perimeter in college basketball. Last season, he averaged 13 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and over a block per game, while knocking down 36% of his threes on nearly 5 attempts per game, which is a staggering output for a player of his size. Ivisic's shooting stretches defenses, allowing Illinois to operate at the rim efficiently, and his passing makes him a focal point in the half court. And if he adds even more low post aggression, he could become virtually unguardable. And with his combination of size, range, and the vision that he brings, I expect Ivisic to be one of Big Ten's most versatile and impactful big men next season. Coming in at number 42 is Coen Carr, the explosive wing from Michigan State, whose athleticism is absolutely off the charts. Carr thrives in transition, especially with Jeremiah Fears Jr. orchestrating the lobs to him, allowing him to finish above the rim like few in college basketball can. Last season, he showcased improved rebounding, defensive versatility, and a developing scoring touch, and if he continues to refine his jumper, he could become an all-Big Ten star. And Carr's combination of speed, his finishing ability, and defensive impact makes him a nightmare matchup for his opponents, and expect him to be a cornerstone of Michigan State's frontcourt next season, and with continued growth, a legitimate NBA draft prospect. Coming in at number 41 is Solo Ball from UConn, and Solo Ball is an elite off-ball shooter and a constant threat from the perimeter. His smooth left-handed stroke makes him nearly impossible to leave open, and he thrives in UConn's motion-heavy, shooter-friendly offense. Ball's spacing creates lanes for teammates to attack the rim, and his timing and movement force defenses to stay alert with every possession. And adding strength and expanding his game beyond just spot-up shooting could take him to the next level, which I think is something we'll see next season. And if he stays healthy and continues to develop like he has, Ball has the potential to be one of the Big East's most dangerous and impactful perimeter scorers. And coming in at number 40 is Christian Anderson, Texas Tech's versatile sophomore guard who's ready to take over facilitating duties after Elijah Hawkins' departure. Last season, Anderson averaged 10.5 points, 3 rebounds, and shot 38% from 3, while showing the ability to run the offense and play alongside or behind the point guard. He also improved defensively, guarding multiple positions and showcasing instincts that make him a two-way threat. And with experience and a starting role locked in for next season, Anderson should be a more reliable scorer, playmaker, and floor spacer, giving the Red Raiders stability in crunch time and providing a foundation for Texas Tech's offense to thrive in the Big 12 alongside JT Toppin. Coming in at number 39 is Mark Mitchell, Missouri's 6'9" forward who's ready to take on a starring role in the SEC with the Tigers. Last season, he averaged 14 points and 5 rebounds while shooting 50.5% from the field, showing he can score efficiently both downhill and with his back to the basket. And Mitchell's combination of strength, speed, and athleticism allows him to guard multiple positions and attack multiple positions on offense. He's also a brawler in the post who consistently gets to the free throw line, and he has the tools to become Missouri's top scorer next season. And if he continues to refine his defensive and perimeter game, Mitchell could emerge as one of the SEC's most dominant forwards next season. Coming in at number 38 is Alex Karaban, UConn's experienced two-way wing who's poised for a big bounce-back season. Last year, he averaged 14.5 points and 5.5 rebounds while struggling with tough shot selection due to point guard instability. But now, with a more settled backcourt, Karaban can return to his natural secondary role, focusing on timely cuts, team defense, and knocking down threes, as he's a career 38% shooter from deep. And his veteran presence and high basketball IQ make him a key connector in UConn's offense, and with Ball and Demary Jr. alongside him, expect Karaban to reclaim his spot as one of the Big East perimeter sharpshooters. Coming in at number 37 is Bryce Hopkins, who's St. John's high-ceiling forward who could be a game changer if he stays healthy. And when on the court, Hopkins is a mismatch nightmare, capable of scoring at multiple levels and overwhelming smaller wings with his size and physicality, and has the ability to clean the glass alongside Zuby Ejiofor. He averaged 16 points and 8.5 rebounds at Providence in the 2022-2023 season, showing All-American level potential. But after missing most of the last two seasons due to injury, Hopkins now has the chance to return to form in Rick Pitino's system. And if he can stay on the floor and stay healthy, St. John's frontcourt could be one of the most dangerous in the Big East. Coming in at number 36 is Emanuel Sharp from Houston. And Sharp is Houston's sharpshooting and lockdown perimeter defender. Last season, Sharp was the Cougars' second leading scorer, hitting a career-best 40.7% from three, and led the team in steals while thriving in Houston's trap-heavy scheme. He's a high-volume, efficient scorer who can play both the shooting guard and small forward positions, and he creates space for his teammates while relentlessly pressuring opponents on the defense end. With improved ball handling and lateral quickness, Sharp can attack off the dribble more effectively this year, making him a true two-way weapon. And if he continues his growth, Sharp will be a key factor in Houston's offense and one of the Big 12's top perimeter defenders. And coming in at number 35 is Robert Wright III, BYU's high-level transfer and elite point guard addition. The former Baylor star averaged 11.5 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds as a freshman, showcasing 3-level scoring and elite playmaking abilities. And Wright's speed, court vision, and ability to create open looks make him a perfect fit alongside AJ Dybantsa and Richie Saunders, and instantly elevates BYU's backcourt potential. He's a true facilitator who can run the offense, attack the rim when needed, and distribute efficiently, giving the Cougars a reliable go-to option. And with Wright leading the way, BYU's roster gains a dynamic floor general capable of taking over games and maximizing the team's scoring potential. Coming in at number 34 is Richie Saunders, BYU's sharpshooting senior and experienced floor leader. Last season, he averaged 16.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists while connecting on 43% from three, and has shown the ability to stretch defenses and create open lanes. Saunders thrives moving without the ball, curling off screens, navigating handoffs, and puncturing defenses with smart drives and a smooth floater game. And with Robert Wright III and AJ Dybantsa joining him in the backcourt, Saunders can play more efficiently, focusing on his strengths as a scoring and spacing weapon. And I expect him to be the cornerstone of an elite BYU offense and a constant threat from just about anywhere on the floor. Coming in at number 33 is Carter Knox, Arkansas's versatile sophomore wing who is ready to take another step under John Calipari as he withdrew from the NBA draft and returned to college. Last season, Knox averaged 8.3 points and 3.3 rebounds while shooting 46% from the field and 35% from the three, but showed flashes of elite scoring potential, and he finished the year extremely strong, scoring in double figures in 9 of his final 12 games, and showcased his ability to attack the rim and stretch defenses by shooting 42% from three across those 12 games. And Knox's size, strength, and defensive versatility make him a matchup problem for teams, and with a more consistent role in year 2, I expect him to emerge as one of Arkansas's key two-way weapons. Coming in at number 32 is Nick Martinelli, Northwestern's dynamic forward and a clear offensive leader. Last season, he averaged a conference best 20.5 points, 6 rebounds, and nearly 2 assists, while setting a program record with 676 points on the season. Martinelli thrives scoring off movement and post-ups, and his hustle shows on both ends with solid rebounding and energy plays. And though he isn't a prolific three-point shooter or facilitator yet, his efficiency and leadership make him the focal point of Northwestern's returning offense. And with more talent supposed to be around him this season, Martinelli should be able to maintain high-level production while improving his efficiency and position himself as one of the Big Ten's most impactful forwards next year. Coming in at number 31 is Jalan Lowe, Kentucky's dynamic lefty point guard who is ready to thrive under Mark Pope. Last season at Pitt, Lowe led his team with 17 points per game and 5.5 assists, showing his ability to exploit defenses with lightning-fast drives and create opportunities for his teammates. Efficiency was a concern for Lowe, but with Kentucky's talent surrounding him and a refined shot selection, he should be able to elevate his game in this high-octane offense. His combination of speed, playmaking, and scoring upside also makes him a potential top 5 point guard in college basketball in my opinion if he hits his ceiling, and he'll be a key X factor for the Wildcats as they aim for a deep NCAA tournament run. And coming in at number 30 is Joshua Jefferson from Iowa State, and Jefferson is a versatile forward and defensive pest. Last season, he averaged 13 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, showing he can impact the game in just about every area. He excels using fakes and crafty drives to draw fouls, while also spacing the floor with improved perimeter shooting. And Jefferson is a tenacious defender and a top-tier rebounder who consistently disrupts offenses with deflections and on-ball pressure. And with Iowa State losing Curtis Jones, Jefferson will take on a bigger scoring and playmaking role while continuing to anchor a back-to-back top 15 defense, and I expect him to be a relentless two-way presence for the Cyclones. Coming in at number 29 is Flory Bidunga, Kansas's athletic and versatile sophomore big that chose to come back to the Jayhawks. Last season, Bidunga averaged 6 points and 5.5 rebounds while showing flashes as a lob threat and rim finisher in a guard-heavy rotation. His defensive impact was immediate, limiting opponents to just 50% at the rim when he was on the floor and disrupting interior scoring with shot blocking and elite athleticism. And with a bigger role this season, expect Bidunga to rack up double-doubles, dominate on the interior, and provide elite rim protection for the Jayhawks. And Kansas's front court may look different without Hunter Dickinson, but Bidunga's physical tools and defensive prowess make him a potential Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Coming in at number 28 is Jackson Shelstad, Oregon's dynamic and high-octane lead guard. Last season, Shelstad averaged nearly 14 points per game while connecting on 38% of his threes and shooting 84% from the line, proving he can score from all 3 levels. He thrives in transition and can pull up from deep off the dribble and has the speed to blow past defenders at will. And with primary scoring roles opening up behind him, Shelstad is poised to push for Big Ten scoring leader status while also improving as a playmaker. And I expect him to carry the Ducks backcourt, create offense for his teammates, and remain a constant threat from deep next season. Coming in at number 27 is Ryan Comwell, Louisville's newest scoring weapon and portal addition. Comwell is a proven sharpshooter, hitting over 40% from 3 in back-to-back seasons for different programs, and his quick-release jumper and ability to shoot off the catch or dribble make him a constant threat from deep, while his tight crossover allows him to attack closeouts and finish at the rim as well. And at 6'4" and 215 pounds, he brings solid size and strength for a wing, and his competitive edge shows on both ends of the floor. And under Pat Kelsey's three-point heavy system, Comwell is set to stretch defenses, create space for his teammates, and be one of the nation's elite scoring guards next season. Coming in at number 26 is Josh Hubbard, Mississippi State's dynamic scoring guard, and Hubbard is one of college basketball's premier shot makers who is able to punish defenses from deep or through traffic despite standing at just 5'11". His off-movement threes and pick-and-roll savvy make him a constant threat from anywhere, while his fearless play in high-pressure moments elevates his team. Last season, Hubbard finished second in SEC scoring and posted elite efficiency, including nearly 90% from the free throw line and a remarkably low turnover rate. And with his combination of skill, confidence, and competitive fire that he brings, Hubbard will anchor Mississippi State's backcourt and projects to be one of the most electrifying offensive forces in the SEC. And coming in at number 25 is Jayden Quaintance, Kentucky's versatile defensive force that transferred in from Arizona State. And at 6'9", he has elite timing and anticipation, allowing him to mirror drivers on the perimeter and block shots without fouling. Last season, as a 17-year-old freshman, he earned all Big 12 defensive team honors while also putting up 9.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks per game before an ACL injury cut his season short. Once healthy, Quaintance projects to anchor Kentucky's defense, protect the rim, and control the glass for the Wildcats, and if he continues to develop his jump shot, he can become a major two-way star and a contender for All-American honors in my opinion. And his unique combination of size, athleticism, and defensive instincts that he brings makes him a game changer in Lexington. Coming in at number 24 is Tamin Lipsey from Iowa State, who is a defensive maestro and floor general. Lipsey has been a cornerstone of 3 elite Cyclone defenses, using his instincts to swarm ball handlers, disrupt passing lanes, and create turnovers with uncanny timing. The 6'2" point guard isn't just a defensive stopper though, he's a smart playmaker who can run the offense when needed, averaging double-digit points while setting up teammates efficiently. Even if his counting stats dipped slightly last season due to injuries and the emergence of other scorers on the team, Lipsey remains the heart and soul of Iowa State, and his combination of IQ, anticipation, and on-ball tenacity makes him one of the nation's most dangerous defenders and a critical piece for TJ Otzelberger's system. Coming in at number 23 is Alex Condon from Florida, who is a versatile 6'11" big who impacts both ends of the floor. Condon moves like a deer for his size, able to run the floor, step out and hit threes, or back defenders down in the post. Defensively, he anchors Florida's interior, protecting the rim while staying mobile enough to cover pick and rolls and switch onto perimeter threats when needed. His combination of size, IQ, and mobility allows the Gators to trust him in a variety of defensive schemes without having to overhelp. Last season, Condon averaged 10.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.5 blocks per game, which showcased just his all-around game as a player. And with his return, Florida's frontcourt remains a formidable force and a major reason why the Gators are primed to contend again in the 2025-26 season. Coming in at number 22, we've got LeBaron Philon, Alabama's dynamic sophomore guard and a potential All-American. Philon thrives in Nate Oates' up-tempo system, blending transition scoring, playmaking, and elite point-of-attack defense all together. He can slice through defenses, set up teammates, and knock down open threes with efficiency, making him a nightmare for his opponents on both ends of the floor. Last season, Philon led Alabama in steals, was second in assists, and contributed across the board on rebounds, blocks, and overall defensive impact. And while he'll need to tighten his handle and improve his three-point shooting, his combination of athleticism, skill, and versatility makes him the perfect trigger man for the Tide's high-octane offense. And with more minutes and the chance to be the primary option, Philon is poised to take the next step towards stardom and keep Alabama in the SEC title hunt. Coming in at number 21 is Nate Bittle from Oregon, and Bittle emerged as a star in his first fully healthy season and looks poised to dominate again in the 2025-26 season. The 7-foot senior is a versatile scorer, capable of knocking down threes or punishing defenses in the post with a nearly unblockable hook shot in his arsenal. His 7'6" wingspan and 9'5" standing reach also make him a menace on both ends of the floor, excelling in rim protection and defensive rotations. And Oregon's offense thrives when it's running through Bittle, and his ability to stretch the floor just adds another layer to his game. And he's a total load and poised for All-American consideration. Coming in at number 20 is Tucker DeVries from Indiana, and DeVries is one of the most prolific shooters in college basketball, as he's capable of stretching defenses with his elite three-point ability and smooth movement off the screens to get his shot. The 6'5" guard also excels in the mid-range and mid-post scoring, using crafty fadeaways and a quick release to get shots off over taller defenders. And though he's not the flashiest athlete, his IQ and scoring instincts make him a constant offensive threat. and availability has been a concern after injuries limited him last season at West Virginia, but when he's healthy, DeVries combines sharp shooting, savvy scoring, and intelligent defense that will help anchor Indiana's attack. Coming in at number 19 is Jacoby Gillespie, who transferred to Tennessee in the offseason. Gillespie arrives in Knoxville as a polished, high IQ point guard capable of running an offense while creating his own shot. The former Maryland standout pairs a deep shooting range with crafty off-the-dribble scoring and poised playmaking, making him a dual threat for any defense. He's equally effective spotting up or coming off screens, with the ability to separate defenders using stepbacks and clever footwork. Gillespie's defensive instincts shine at the point of attack, where he pressures ball handlers and generates steals with ease. And Tennessee gains a savvy, versatile guard to replace Zakai Ziegler, and who balances scoring, passing, and leadership, which instantly upgrades the Vols' backcourt for next season. Coming in at number 18 is Boogie Fland from Florida. And Fland is an Arkansas transfer and a dynamic combo guard with deep shooting range and elite playmaking instincts. He can orchestrate the offense or attack off the dribble, showing the ability to create for both himself and others. Fland's pull-up game is particularly dangerous, and Florida's system is built to maximize his finishing opportunities around screens and spacing. And while injuries limited him last season as a freshman, his flashes of elite scoring, playmaking, and on-ball defense are undeniable, and with a full offseason to get stronger and more consistent, Fland has the upside to be a centerpiece in Florida's backcourt and one of the nation's most versatile guards, and help try and lead the Gators back to a national championship. Coming in at number 17 is Gonzaga big man Graham Ike, and Ike is a 6'9" scoring machine whose offensive game is both versatile and efficient. A master at carving out space in the paint, he can score in isolation, off the post, or in pick and roll situations, and Ike draws fouls at an elite rate and converts consistently from the line, making him a nightmare for opponents late in games. And while defense isn't necessarily his calling card, his ability to put up 20 plus points effortlessly fits perfectly in Gonzaga's offensive scheme. And as the primary scoring option for the Zags, Ike will once again anchor Gonzaga and has All-American potential if he maintains the offensive output that he consistently brings. Coming in at number 16 is Otega Oweh, Kentucky's high motor, two-way wing who dominates on both ends of the floor. On the offensive side, he's a downhill slasher and transition finisher, capable of punishing defenders with powerful drives and highlight reel dunks. And his emerging perimeter game just adds another layer to his scoring arsenal. Defensively, Oweh is just absolutely elite, able to chase shooters, contest big wings, and disrupt passing lanes with his versatility and length. And transferring from Oklahoma, he's thrived under Mark Popen in that system and has become one of college basketball's most impactful two-way players. And with his physicality, energy, and the all-around game that he brings, Oweh is a frontrunner for SEC Player of the Year next season. And coming in at number 15 is Tahad Pettiford from Auburn, and Pettiford is a dynamic lead guard with one of the nation's most lethal pull-up jumpers. He combines elite body control with a tight handle and quickness to create tough shots that look effortless. Last season, he averaged 11.5 points as a freshman and 3 assists in just 23 minutes per game, showing his ability to make an immediate impact off the bench. And with a much larger role in the 2025-26 season, Pettiford will transition to a starter and the primary ball handler for Auburn and orchestrate the Tigers' offense while maintaining his scoring threat. And as the lone returner from last year's Final Four squad, Pettiford's skill set and leadership will be central to the Tigers' success. Coming in at number 14 is JoJo Tugler from Houston, and Tugler is a defensive force with the versatility to disrupt opponents at every level. The 6'8" junior uses his 7'6" wingspan and athleticism to protect the rim, contest shots on the perimeter, and anchor one of the nation's elite defenses in the Houston Cougars. And while his offensive game is still developing, he can finish lobs and clean up around the basket with the potential to expand into a consistent scoring threat outside the paint. But Tugler's combination of shot blocking, anticipation, and mobility just makes him a matchup nightmare for opponents, and with added offensive polish that he should be developing this offseason, he has the upside to be a two-way star at Houston and a future NBA prospect. Coming in at number 13 is Milos Uzan from Houston, and Uzan has emerged as a dynamic leader for the Cougars, combining playmaking, scoring, and defensive prowess. The 6'4" senior can run the offense with poise, threading pinpoint passes while limiting turnovers, and has developed into a reliable perimeter threat with his improved jumper that we saw late last season. And with the departure of Houston's top scorer in LJ Cryer, Uzan is poised to shoulder more of the scoring load, capable of posting 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, and maybe even more next season. And his floater in the paint and ability to hit spot-up threes make him a versatile offensive threat, and while his hustle and IQ on defense make him a two-way force and a legitimate All-American candidate. Coming in at number 12 is Darion Williams from NC State, and Williams is a versatile 6'6" point forward who can create mismatches all over the floor. With his strength and skill, Williams can back down defenders in the mid-post, operate in pick and rolls, and find teammates with precision passing. And after a strong junior season at Texas Tech, where he averaged 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, Williams transferred to NC State in Raleigh and will be the Wolfpack's primary offensive option, and his combination of size, scoring ability, and playmaking makes him a nightmare for opponents in both half-court and transition settings. And under Will Wade, Williams is set to elevate the Wolfpack, providing leadership, versatility, and a steady hand in crunch time situations like the ones we saw in the NCAA tournament. Coming in at number 11 is Donovan Dent, who transferred to UCLA in the offseason, and no player scored more points in transition last year than Dent, who put up 6.7 per game, and he's just a one-man fast break when he gets the ball in the open. He's a sensational playmaker, as Dent creates high-quality shots for himself and his teammates, and thrives in open court situations and applies relentless rim pressure on the defense. This offseason, Dent made a huge move from the Mountain West to Westwood, joining Mick Cronin's Bruins, and UCLA needed a dynamic offensive creator, and Dent fits perfectly, addressing efficiency and creation issues that plagued the Bruins down the stretch last season. And paired with a front court full of floor spacers, Dent has the potential to elevate UCLA into true contender status for a national championship. And coming in at number 10 is Darryn Peterson from Kansas, and the number 1 recruit in the class of 2025 is already being called the best player Bill Self has ever brought to KU. The 6'5" guard is a do-it-all scorer who can play any backcourt spot, create space in tight areas, and score all 3 levels while getting to the foul line at will. Peterson moves like an NBA 2 guard with length, fluidity, and elite athleticism, and he's ready to soak up massive usage as Kansas's go-to bucket getter, and fans should be excited for some highlight reel plays, some deep threes, and non-stop scoring from day one from Darryn Peterson. Coming in at number 9 is Trey Kaufman-Renn from Purdue, and the 6'9" senior went from a role player behind Zach Edey to a third-team All-American in just one season. And last year, he averaged 20 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 2 assists while shooting nearly 60% from the field. And Kaufman-Renn dominates inside with his floaters, hooks, and runners that make him nearly impossible to stop. And his synergy with Braden Smith in pick and roll situations is one of the best in college basketball, and a big reason why they're one of the best duos in the nation. And his blend of strength, skill, and footwork makes him a nightmare for just about any defense to defend. And now, with Purdue transfer Oscar Clough in the front court with him, Kaufman-Renn looks like he might have an even bigger and better year. Coming in at number 8 is Zuby Ejiofor from St. John's, and Ejiofor is a 6'9" powerhouse who took the Big East by storm last season and earned Most Improved Player honors. Ejiofor dominates the glass, punishes defenders in post-up situations, he can guard just about any position thanks to his elite versatility. His motor never stops. Whether he's switching onto wings, locking down scores, or cleaning the glass, he sets the tone for St. John's defensively each and every possession, and opponents struggle to match his combination of strength, athleticism, and smarts, making him the heartbeat of a team that thrives on energy, effort, and relentless intensity. And St. John's looks like they might be even better this season. Coming in at number 7 is PJ Haggerty from Kansas State, and Haggerty is a 6'3" dynamo who terrorizes defenses in transition and thrives as a mid-range assassin and free throw line finisher. Haggerty can Eurostep around defenders, burrow into traffic for fouls, or create for teammates with slick playmaking skills, and he's one of the most electric scorers in the transfer portal this offseason, as he averaged 21 points per game over the past 2 years, while also racking up multiple rebounds, assists, and steals. And with a career-best 36% from 3 last year and a style built to lift K-State offensively, Haggerty is a true floor raiser who can carry the ball on both ends, making him one of the Big 12's most lethal threats. And he'll have the ball in his hand even more this year, so those stats are just going to be even better. Coming in at number 6 is AJ Dybantsa from BYU, and the 6'9 freshman has an NBA-ready frame and the kind of jumbo wing versatility that makes defenses break down. Dybantsa is primed to dominate in BYU's 5-out transition-heavy offense, where his combination of length, athleticism, and power will allow him to score at all 3 levels, finish in traffic, and thrive as a cutter to the rim. He's comfortable pulling up from deep, drawing fouls, and creating highlight-worthy plays in the open floor, and in half-court sets, he can run 2-man actions and switch multiple positions defensively, giving BYU an elite weapon on both ends as their freshman phenom makes an immediate impact. And coming in at number 5 is Bennett Stirtz from Iowa. And Stirtz is a 6'4 league guard who has quietly transformed from a Division II star into one of college basketball's most dynamic scorers. Stirtz follows head coach Ben McCollum from Drake to Iowa City and brings his elite ball screen mastery, off the dribble shooting, and finishing touch around the rim, where he converted 70% of his attempts last season on massive usage at Drake. And Stirtz is a former Missouri Valley Player of the Year, as he averaged 19 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals while running pick and rolls at an elite level. And Iowa will surround him with shooters and give him the ball constantly, making Stirtz the centerpiece of their offense in a nightmare matchup in the Big Ten. Coming in at number 4 is Cameron Boozer from Duke. And Boozer is a 6'9 freshman who is already projected as a top 3 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. Boozer is a total force in the front court, blending size, athleticism, and skill with an elite feel for the game. He rebounds, passes, defends, and can score in multiple ways, making him nearly impossible to contain for defenses. And Duke will ride his polished two-way game night in and night out, where he can put up double-digit points, double-digit rebounds with ease. And Boozer's combination of strength, IQ, and versatility will give the Blue Devils a front court cornerstone ready to make an immediate impact. Coming in at number 3 is Yaxel Lendeborg from Michigan. And Lendeborg is a 6'9 forward who's a Swiss Army knife on both ends of the floor. Lendeborg thrives in transition, grabbing boards and immediately igniting Michigan's fast break, but he's equally dangerous in the half court as a playmaking hub. His hands are lightning quick, creating multiple steals and blocks for UAB last season, and he's comfortable defending inside and outside. Lendeborg averaged nearly 18 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game while earning AAC Defensive Player of the Year. And with an elite structure around him at Michigan, Lendeborg is ready to dominate as a two-way force. Coming in at number 2 is Braden Smith from the Purdue Boilermakers, and Smith is a 6-foot point guard whose court vision is otherworldly. Last season, Smith averaged 16 points, 9 assists, and 4.5 rebounds while shooting 38% from deep, and was named Big Ten Player of the Year and the Bob Cousy Award winner. He commands the floor like a maestro, running pick and rolls with surgical precision, creating shots for teammates, and finishing through contact thanks to his stretchy wingspan. Defensively, he's a ball-hawking presence, disrupting passing lanes and generating turnovers. And with over 750 career assists already, Smith is on track to etch his name among the all-time greats as he controls the tempo and elevates Purdue's offense to elite levels. And coming in at number 1 is JT Toppin from Texas Tech. And Toppin is a 6'9 junior who absolutely dominated the Big 12 last season as the league's leading returning scorer and rebounder. Toppin is the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year and is a nightmare inside of 10 feet as he has a deadly left-hand finish, elite short roll scoring, and a relentless nose for offensive boards. And Toppin's 7'2" wingspan also makes him a defensive menace around the rim, altering shots and grabbing rebounds with both timing and precision. And versatile enough to play both the 4 and 5, he can stretch the floor, punish defenders on the block, and thrive in Texas Tech's system, anchoring their front court while creating matchup problems everywhere on the floor. And with that, let me know in the comments what you think of my rankings of the top 50 players in all of college basketball heading into next season. Also, make sure to go and check all of my other rankings videos at the links in the description. Stay tuned for more preseason content, and as always, if you enjoyed the content, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.